welcome back. Olson Speed Shop. Today what I thought we'd do is talk about the shop truck. Not this shop truck. This is the, I guess, real shop truck. This is the go and pick up cars on the car hauler, move lots of stuff, push things around truck. But the little parts getter that we got for the shop is this one. This is the one that I kind of want to focus on today. Now, give you some background on this truck. I've always liked the little S10s. And we got one here that's winterized for now. I've always liked these little S10s. The reason is that they're good on gas, they're fun little trucks, and they're reliable. Now, we've owned a few S10s in our life. I think this is about our fifth one. Anyway, when I first got married, we bought a 91 S10. It was pretty much exactly the way this one is. And we loved that truck so much, and I always missed it, and my wife always missed it also. So I've always kept my eye out for one that was set up like this one. Now the 91s were the more squared bodied type. This is a 94. This is the first year of this body style. So let me give you a little background on this truck. I'd had another S10, a little two-wheel drive that had a 4.3 V6 in it and an automatic, and it was a fun truck. It was fast, quick, good gas mileage, and that was my truck. The problem was it was two-wheel drive. So anytime it snowed, we went back to the big truck. I kind of wanted to get a little parts truck, do my commuting, my running around for little things here and there in a four-wheel drive. So I always kept my eye out for one. Went a long time before I found this one. This little truck, it's just a little sweetheart of a truck. And I'll show you more coming up here. But it's a 94 S10. It's got the 4.3 V6 in it, which I love those motors. I love those little motors. And in my book, that's what you want in an S10. Unless you put a V8 in it, which is a lot of work, but those are cool too. Anyway, 4-cylinder's okay. The one up on the trailer there is a 4-cylinder with a 5-speed, but they're pretty gutless. But they're good. They're decent on gas. Let me take that back. They're decent on gas. This one is better on gas than the 4-cylinder one. Don't ask me why. I guess it probably lugs the 4-cylinder down. But that one's also extended cab, and it's two-wheel drive. This is four-wheel drive with the 4.3 V6. Now, the reason I really love it, and the reason I bought it pretty much sight unseen, I seen it on local ad. There was no pictures, so I texted the guy. I said, "Hey, send me pictures of your S10. I'm interested." He sent pictures to me, told me a little bit about it. Said it needed engine work. He didn't know what kind of engine work it needed. And when I saw the pictures, I pretty much knew immediately I was going to buy it. Told the guy I was interested, that I would come. The guy was, I think he was traveling. He ended up being gone for about a week. I'm like, let me know right when you get back, and I want to come look at it. And he did. So it all worked out, luckily. Now, this truck sounded like it was the guy's, I want to say it was the guy's father-in-law's truck. His father-in-law bought the truck brand new. Owned it his whole life. He sadly ended up passing away, And so they got it. So technically I'm the third owner. Really second owner. Because I mean it was his wife's father's truck, and they put it in their name, but I mean it stayed in the family. So 94 S10, it's got 97,000 miles on it. It might have 98 now. I've been driving it for a while. Just a little sweetheart of a truck. I mean, you can see how clean it is. I mean, just that front end actually is, it's kind of cool. Now, there's some things I'm not a fan of. I don't really particularly like the bumpers on the 94. They're kind of different, if you look. That little green spoiler, I don't know if I like that. But it's 90s styling. I mean, the color itself is 90s styling. Look at the back bumper. They're not beautiful. My 98 S10 that I had a really nice chrome back bumper. Thought about converting it, but then I'm like, no, I'm going to leave it the way it is because I like it. Just because of the retro look is why I like it. But let's go through this real quick. So I picked this up. I had everything I wanted. I wanted a 5-speed. I wanted the V6. I wanted 4-wheel drive. Everything. I may have wanted an extended cab. Well, let me rephrase that. I love the single cab. My wife might have wanted the extended cab. A little extra room to put stuff in there, and it's true. My son's extended cab there definitely has a lot more room in it. The seat will go back farther, so there's advantages. But single cab's good for me. Like I said, this is a parts runner, commuter to work, and drive around on the weekends, and it fits that bill perfectly. So bought it. The top was on it. It did have a carpet kit in it. Not a huge fan of carpet kits, so I deleted that. And so I think I've said in my other videos, we had a Chevy Traverse, which is a good car, but our family is shrinking. Boys are growing up, and so we didn't need 7 seats, basically. And it was expensive to drive. Got bad gas mileage, and insurance was a lot on it. Anyway, as you can tell, we're a Chevy family. Got 3 Chevys, 1 Jeep, which was just a convenience on how we got that, and now we got the Acura. I sold my wife's Traverse. I put it up on KSL. It's basically a local classified area, and it sold fairly quick. It surprised me, but it sold quick. And so we were stuck. We didn't have the Acura. We had 3 trucks and a Jeep Liberty, but my son drove the Jeep Liberty. So I kind of thought, well, hey, let's let my wife drive one of the trucks. We got 3 of them. We only got 2 drivers, so I gave her the pick out of all 3. She drove Steven's little S10 for a bit. Now this S10 under the cover, it's lowered, and it's lowered quite a bit, so it scrapes the ground, of course. But he likes it. My wife, not so much. Okay. Switch, big truck. Thought, she can drive that around. It's kind of hard to get in, especially if you're wearing a skirt, I guess, is what she says. I wouldn't know. I do see her try to hop up in it. And so I said, hey, let's make it easier for you. I'll buy some side steps for it and make that nice. She's like, well, that's a good step, but I don't want to drive a big giant truck around, which I don't blame her. Therefore, got this going. Kind of reversing here. But I had to get a motor put together for this. So got that going. got it going to good. She drove this for a while. She didn't really like driving a truck. She said she didn't have any space. So I thought a great idea would be, hey, it's got the topper. So I went and bought one of these little bars here. Got a couple totes for her. I mean, that's a great grocery getter. Put your groceries in here, and you don't need a trunk. It only seats 3. That's not the greatest condition, I guess, and it's really 2.5. But anyway, she drove it. She was all right for a bit, but then she had enough of it. So that's when she got the Acura. She loves this little Acura, and I'm glad. She's happy. I'm happy. So there we are. Anyway, back to this. So I'm going to show you a little bit on this truck. As you can see, it's got a bed liner in it. I bet it's been in since it's brand new. I haven't pulled it out. It did have a carpet kit, like I said, but I got rid of that. I don't really haul a lot of stuff in this. If I have anything really big, I use that and the trailer if needed. But this will haul, you know, this will go and get most anything that I'm working on, and it keeps it dry. That's nice. But we look, you can look and see for 94, which is what? How many years old is that? 27 years old? I don't know. It's not bad. Let me show you the inside. So if you look at the inside, now I did a little bit of cleaning on this. Not a lot though. It's pretty clean. Seats are good. The only little issues right there. Little tiny hole. And I should make that. I should fix that somehow to prevent that from getting worse. Other than that, I mean, that's great. Let me show you in here. Oh yes, I put some miles on it. When I bought this, it had 97,000 miles. Now we're 98,146. Probably put about 1,000 miles on it. I think I've put three tanks of gas in it. But it's got the stick shift. Let's see, there we go. Stick shift. It's got the 90s stereo with the tape player. My only complaint, I guess, about this truck, and look, it's got AC. Our 91 didn't have AC. I don't really remember that. I don't remember it not having AC, but my wife sure does. She knew it didn't have AC. She let me know. 4-wheel drive. Look at the pedals. Almost brand new. Carpet's new. Not new, but it looks new. Back to the stereo. My only complaint is you have FM 1, 2, 3, 4 and AM 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 4 stations to choose from. So usually you have an FM1 and FM2, sometimes even an FM3. So you can get a lot of stations programmed in. Basically, I end up doing a lot of seeking. So I got 4 stations kind of run throughout the dial. So I'll hit the first one, and then I'll hit seek for a few of the stations that I know that I like to listen to. And when I get close to 2, I'll hit 2 and seek up. That's the only complaint I got of this. AC works good. I actually have never tried the tape player. I got one of them fancy old school tape players. It looks like a cassette tape. You put it in, and then you got a cord that comes out, and then you can hook it into your phone. I got one of them. I think my son actually has it in his Jeep. I'm gonna take that back from him and put it in this so I can at least listen to stuff on my phone. I can only handle the new country music so much before it just drives me nuts. But I listen to a lot of books on tape at work, and I kind of, when I'm into a book and I get out of work and go and headed home, it'd be nice to be able to continue to listen to that. So I'm pretty sure the tape player works. Everything works in this thing. So I'll give it a shot. We were talking to my daughter about Sony Walkmans, speaking of the 80s and the 90s, and we dug out some cassette tapes that we had, and I got some good tapes of Garth and, well, not Garth. Garth's what I call this truck. My wife wanted a name of this truck that would fit the 90s era, and I just was watching Netflix and watched a Garth Brooks special on Netflix, and he was king in the 90s, especially for country music. Anyway, that's why he's named Garth. Just finished watching it. It was 90s, and so this is Garth. If you want to look at my big truck, his name's Ledoux. The reason it's named Ledoux is when we bought it, there was a CD stuck in the CD player. Chris Ledoux. How can you not like Chris Ledoux? So I've never bothered to get it out. And when there's nothing on the radio, we kick all Ledoux on, listen to him. So anyway, there you go. That's where we're at here. One thing that's nice is our other S10, our 91 S10, which we missed and wanted to recreate. It had vinyl here. Now vinyl's nice. Instead of carpet, you could hose it out with a hose when you get muddy. But this one is the LS version. LS version's got carpet. It's got cruise control. Now I'm missing a cover here. I hit the junkyard and I'm not sure why it's missing. The cruise control doesn't work. That is one thing that doesn't work. Maybe they were trying to fix it. I need to fix that. There's little things I need to fix. Right here, this roller here, it's pretty much seized up. I actually got a spring because it's missing the spring also, which holds your door open. You can see the door closing. I got the spring, but I realized that the roller's shot. So I get one of them on order. We'll replace that roller. The bushings are good on it though. 98,000 miles. It's not a lot of movement in this door. That's where they wear. All right, let me show you here. So I bought this sight unseen. It's got new tires, brand new tires. Not my favorite brand. In fact, I really don't like them. But they're brand new, so I'll wear them out. Let's pop this hood here. See if I can do it one-handed. Alrighty, there we go. So, here's the engine. Let me back up, there we go. There's the engine. We stuffed her in there. It runs pretty good. So, this engine was bad. It had a rod knock. The minute I started it up at the guy's house, I knew it had a rod knock. I told him, yeah, it's gonna need an engine. That's the problem with it. He looked like, you know, oh, okay, that's definitely not something that he wanted to do. And was the reason why it was up for sale. His wife had told me that she'd got a lot of calls and people wanting parts off it, but she didn't want to part it out and would like to have kept it on the road. And I'm really glad, because it's too nice to part out. It's beautiful. And it's low miles. So what happened? This is what I came to. Pulled it apart. First thing I did, I drove it around, dumped the oil, antifreeze in the oil, put new oil in it, changed the filter, drove it around some more, I mean, it was driving. It just made a racket. Sounded like Psycho in the shower scene, I think. You know, a lot of the high-pitched, and that's the way this sounded. So, pulled the filter again, full of metal. I knew it needed it. We yanked it out, put this one in. And you can see that even on the valve covers, I've never painted these valve covers because the valve covers are actually plastic. I shined it up and painted them. Now, I kind of wanted to test a theory here. As you can see, we're a Chevy family. And this blue looks a lot like Ford blue. It's not Ford blue. What it is it's extra paint from airplane. And I know airplane paint holds up really well. Well, we had some extra at my work, and so I'd thrown out the valve covers, the air cleaner lid, and the oil pan, and just had the painter spray them with the extra paint that he had so it didn't go to waste. So my theory here is that it looks a lot like Ford blue. We're going to see how the reliability of this truck goes, having some Ford blue on it. Now Chevy, it should be reliable, but we'll see if it lessens the reliability. So far it hasn't. It's a good runner. I think I've worked all the kinks out of it. I thought I had a little bit of a antifreeze leak on the new radiator. I put an all new radiator in it. I think what I came down to is I pulled the engine apart. I looked at the intake manifold gaskets real close. I looked at the head gaskets real close. I couldn't see a breach anywhere. They looked good. And so my theory is, it looked to me like they had put new oil lines on it from the motor that go up to right here. They go up into the radiator. Now they had new lines on it. At least one new line. I don't remember if both, but at least one. Anyways, I think that's where the antifreeze was getting into the oil. I don't know if when they were tightening, if it messed something up in the radiator or what exactly. But I think the problem was the radiator. So I didn't even take a chance. I put a new radiator in. All new, like you can see, new hoses. Of course, new water pump, everything on the motor that I pulled for it. And so I'm hoping that we don't have that problem anymore. And we shouldn't. I replaced all. I even got all new oil lines and everything. Anyway, thought I had a little bit of a coolant leak. I think I just added some coolant and it just burped some out. I probably overfilled it and it burped it out. But it went onto the skid plate and made it look like it was worse than it was. So I've been driving it around today like crazy and I don't see no leaks. So anyway, that's the shop truck. My son thinks that these tow hooks here would just look swell painted red. I don't know about that. I'm not a fancy person, so I think they would look better painted black though. They're kind of rusty now. I might someday paint them black. Who knows? What else? This is the only little ding on the truck. Well, I mean, there's a lot of little dings, but that's the only one that's the bigger ding. It's too bad. I might be able to get a paintless dent repair guy to get some of that out. It does have cracked paint here, and this little black mark would probably wax out. And that's really the only ding on it. Other than that, it is just clean. The wheels are clean. It's a shame because it looked like he really kept up on his maintenance fairly well. The brakes have been replaced and are good. Tell me what you think about this. I'm not a big shell fan, but it is nice to have stuff stay dry. And I actually found a key that would work for the locks. Not like if someone wanted to get in, they could get in, but I could lock it if I wanted. Let me know what you think about the shell, whether to keep it on or to remove it. I keep going back and forth, and I probably would remove it to see how it looks and see if I like it, but I've got no room to put it. I guess I could put it up on the other S10 for storage for a bit. I definitely don't have room in my garage, as you can see. I mean, I got a hot rod to build. I've got to move all this stuff before I can even get to the hot rod. So anyway, so that's the shop truck. It's got new tires. I think I looked it up, and it has 342 gears. I kind of wish there was 373s or 411s, but 342s are okay for gas mileage, which is what this thing is for. I mean, really, it's just my cruiser. As you can see, it's just a sweetheart of a truck. I actually like it. My son, who left for a couple years, he's probably making bets on whether I'll keep it, whether it'll be back when he gets home. Because I tend to go through cars pretty quick. I get bored with them and get rid of them. But I really like this truck. It's got everything that I want. And so I think I'm going to keep it. And it's the decked out one. It's the LS version. For $94, this had, I think, almost every option that you could get. Although, look at here. This is interesting too. And I don't mind it. It's got, if you want to lock that, you better lock it yourself, because there's no automatic locks. And crank windows. I think in '94 there were power windows out there, but I think that people, I know my dad for sure, it took him a while to go to where he wanted power windows. I remember him always grunting and saying, it's just another thing to go wrong, another electric motor to go wrong. And so I think when this one was ordered, they must have special ordered it without the power windows. I don't know. But that's the shop truck. So we'll do another video soon, but just thought we'd show the shop truck and what we've been doing on that. I know it's been in a few of our other little videos, but I never did really do the fine-tune, detailed shot of it. So that's what it is. Thanks for viewing. If you like these videos, and I hope they just get better from here, hit the subscribe button, and I'll keep putting some out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.